Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day,
Father's Day,
gentlemen. Of course, I'm the only father in the room.
Well, I mean, you know,
you guys are all sons.
We're sons.
He's a fur father.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fur father, and I'm a proxy dad, and
yeah.
The number of kids that have worked for us at the conventions who look up and will literally call me dad when I'm being a little too
right,
like, you know, constructive.
Well, if you've listened to Geek Tank for any number of years, you know that one of our traditions here is that we consider fathers in the geek realms,
That's true.
the geek genres. Last year was a pretty good discussion. We put Captain Kirk versus Darth Vader, and we had an intellectual discussion about who was technically the better father. And,
Anakin won that.
And yeah, like it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Kirk's not a good dad.
He probably doesn't even know sometimes that he actually is a dad unless a woman comes into his life 10 years later.
Well, there you go, Matt. I mean, think of we don't really know what's going on out there with Kirk.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
who knows how many kids he actually has.
There could be way more.
But so in that vein, you guys, we're going to keep the tradition going, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And so we've got a list here, and I mean, I know we talk about this. Let's talk maybe with the low-hanging fruit first. And this is a roundtable. This is our own, opinions.
Yeah. Are we gonna hit on our stalwart favorite?
All right. Well, let's just go to it, folks. We're gonna start with Thomas Wayne. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Bruce Wayne's father. So, okay, I'd love to hear your thoughts, man.
So, all right, I've always felt that Thomas Wayne was a good man.
Yes.
But not so much a good dad.
Now, okay, go ahead.
And
what does that mean?
All right, so we know that he was a doctor, he was a surgeon, he did his thing, but he was also a philanthropist. He started, between him and Martha, they had, Gotham's best interest at heart. But I think that sometimes we've seen in like the Nolanverse with the whole, we fall so that we can get back up, and it's all poetic and everything. But that wasn't the Thomas Wayne that we had in the comics or any of the other stuff. And we have seen how that kind of it went from being a very entitled lifestyle to a vengeance lifestyle, which kind of makes me feel that he never really put the good characterization of what a man is into Bruce. I mean, he was a kid when his dad died. So I mean, I'm not gonna fault the dad for spoiling his child.
Huh.
But things that we've learned about Thomas Wayne since Flashpoint.
Is that canon? Because
yes,
Flashpoint's that alternate.
Flashpoint is canon.
Okay.
It happened in an alternate universe, but we saw what would really become of Thomas Wayne when tragedy strikes. His Batman was not a good man.
No, so it's kind of the Killing Joke premise and everything. Like what would happen after one bad day and everything, and we kind of found out what would that be for Thomas Wayne and everything pretty easy. So you could almost say that the good portrayals of Thomas Wayne are exceptions rather than the norm in terms of canon.
Well, I wouldn't go so much that that route. It shows how easily broken he was, which I don't know if losing a child's not an easy thing. And then his wife goes crazy, and Martha became the Joker, and Thomas became Batman. And
in canon, she's got her family. She's got problems anyway, right?
Well,
she was in Arkham as a kid.
Yeah, her family was not. But they were a little. The Canes were a little twisted.
Yeah.
So this actually brings us to a perfect point, though, within the Batman realm. The idea of who would you say that Alfred is actually the better father?
Yeah.
If we're going to categorize for Bruce, yes, but the best father in the Bat universe is Bruce Wayne.
Okay, what do you mean?
All right, so
which I hate, because I know
you hate the Bat family.
Yeah.
I know you're not a fan of that. Right. But you think about the way that Bruce did take in Dick, and then while Tim was never his actual son, he treated him, as one of his children. he had his problems with Jason, where he had overcorrected from his his raising of Dick. But when it comes down to it, Damien's only a viable character because Bruce was a good father to him. And that's after the two of them tried to kill each other multiple times. But I mean, everybody else is, well, what about Gordon? What about Commissioner Gordon? Commissioner Gordon was a horrible father.
Oh, well, we saw what happened to his son.
We saw what happened to James Jr., but we also know that Barbara wasn't, she was born out of wedlock when he cheated on his wife with her sister.
Yeah.
For the longest time, Barbara thought he was her uncle.
Right.
I mean,
well, I think you guys are being a little harsh on Thomas Wayne, though. I mean, you're going by the Flashpoint what if. Well, Brandon, we don't know what could happen. It's kind of like Max said. We don't know what could happen with any of us. If my kid was murdered, I don't know what I would turn into.
But what I'm saying is that I think that when it came down to it, he spoiled Bruce, which while he loved
they're
Bruce,
billionaires. I guess it's hard not to.
But that's the thing is, while he loved Bruce, he did instill an entitlement into him that you see in the early years when they show you what happened, when he was in his training.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Now I'm just kind of thinking in terms of bad dads, too, for people that were rich but didn't necessarily didn't actually spoil their children. I'm reminded of Falcone with Catwoman.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like he was just a bad dad and he didn't spoil her at all. It's like, nope, you're out of here.
Yeah, but he killed her mother, and I mean, he didn't want her to know. Wait, did she know? That's a confusing one.
I don't think she knew then.
And is that canon? That was only in the movie, right?
Oh, I thought that was the Long Halloween.
I'm confused. I don't know. Here we are. We're trying to be geek experts and everything.
Look.
But I don't know that I'd say he's a bad father. I'd say he's a compromised father. Why do you bring your kids to a dangerous, why are you walking down a dark alley? You guys are billionaires and you got these expensive pearls. Your wife's wearing this jewelry, and then you're taking your kid down a lane. I don't know, man. We'll unpack it when we come back.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, well, happy Father's Day, everybody. We appreciate that you're spending your Father's Day with us, unless you're maybe listening to the rerun or whatever. But who knows? But we've been every year it's sort of a tradition, you guys. We consider fathers in the geek realm, and we decide for ourselves whether they're good or bad.
Right.
I had one that I was kind of wanting to spitball with you all.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, good dad, bad dad, Indiana Jones.
Wait, is he a...
Remember
I
Mutt
forgot
Williams?
about him.
So,
oh, yeah, that's right.
When he found out that he was a dad, he tried to be a good dad. And then, as much as we hate to even bring up the Dial of Destiny, because we didn't think we could get any worse than the Crystal Skull, but we did.
Yeah.
We saw again. It's like Mutt went off to war. Mutt didn't come back. Indy became despondent. Marion left him. So I mean, we don't get a chance to see what happened between the end of Crystal Skull and when Mutt went to war, so I can't really, give a good determination on Indy.
Because the few times that we do get things with Indy, it's like, oh, he left Marion alone for 10 years and everything. She slapped him in the face. He's like, I've been waiting for you to come back and everything. And he's like, he just didn't really seem like a good man in that respect.
Yeah.
So you only really ever get to see the iffy sides of Indy and everything, I guess, because it's like they don't really have a lot of canon things that are filled in between, which I don't mind because I don't really like the idea of having fluff in between. We should have just kept it at The Last Crusade, which actually brings me to a good point. Indiana Jones Sr., good dad, bad dad.
Oh, Henry Jones Sr. is
I gotta think about that because so you're talking about Sean Connery's dad. I don't know. I mean, he did teach him a sense of adventure, right?
He instilled in him a sense of purpose.
And self-reliance.
Yeah.
And the fact
Self-reliance to the point where it sounds like he left him alone to do a lot of
but
stuff.
he also instilled in him a spirit that fought hard to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it belongs in a museum. No, it technically belongs with whoever it originally should have been with, but he's not doing it for profit.
Huh. I guess it's all a point of view, isn't it? Because it's like, I'm going to give him a thumbs, I don't know. I'm going to give him a thumbs up. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I'm going to give him a shaky iffy.
Well, how did they behave as adults on their adventure together? It seems like they did pretty well, right?
They bickered as much as any father and son did, in any kind of situation. I mean,
but they ultimately took care of business, right?
And
and when he was shot, Indy was a great son there. Yeah. He was risking his life to save his dad.
And when, as much as Henry had been chasing the Grail his whole life,
yeah,
he told Indy to let it go. So he, while he's trying to save his son. So he definitely, it's a running theme apparently in anything George Lucas wrote. Because
when the chips are down and everything, and they're like in the corner, like these dads actually end up summoning something noble, unlike Thomas Wayne.
Okay, so you guys are really throwing poor Thomas under the bus. I think he was a good guy.
I think he was a good man. I just think that the shortcomings in what he put forth for everyone else is kind of seen in how he raised his son.
Well, okay,
and that is why and yes, Alfred is the best dad that Bruce ever had.
Well, let's just say that because we don't want to make the whole show about him. I will say this:
we know he was bad. He wasn't good for Julia.
Brandon, we don't come from a line of aristocracy. I don't know what it would be like to inherit billions of dollars and have a family name that you got to uphold and everything. I don't know what pressure that would cause. So the fact that, I don't know, Bruce turned out as good as he did, I guess give him some credit. But all right, let's shift gears. I got a father that's a little bit more of a deep cut.
Okay.
I don't even know the guy's last name, but Lonnie from Andor, the Imperial spy.
Right.
Well, he's a good guy. He's a good spy. He strikes me as a very devoted father. That's what cost him his life, right?
Oh yeah. And
spoiler, folks, if you haven't seen season 2.
It's actually really kind of funny when you look at it, because there's a lot of auxiliary characters, side characters in Star Wars that once you see them fleshed out, like with Lonnie or Din Djarin, or how we saw, that Owen actually was in Obi-Wan.
Or Clem.
I mean,
he was a good father.
There's a lot of
really
good dads in Star Wars, and in a lot of cases, you see that when you see them from the angle where they're gruff and not really, they don't seem supportive. They're protecting the kid that they're raising.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I'm gonna give Lonnie a thumbs up.
Lonnie definitely gets a thumbs up.
Clem, now, were they technically thieves or were they more scavengers?
Scavengers.
They were scavengers.
Okay, so they weren't stealing, no. And he, although it was kind of, never mind. I was going to say his demise was sort of preventable. He didn't have to stand the way he was doing. He could have yelled at the guys and told from the side and told them to. He didn't have to stand right in front of them and then be in the line of fire.
and I'm gonna throw one more out there that even though technically he was her brother.
Yeah.
Hunter was a good dad to Omega.
Wait, who?
Bad Batch.
Oh, Hunter. Oh, now the Bad Batch is another one.
When they took on Omega, you saw how Hunter was when he showed up in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And you get to watch him become a father figure to his little sister, within the first season, and he just grows. And then, of course, that last scene with the two of them at the end of Bad Batch, it's it's a full circle. It's a perfect circle.
Now that you're saying it, is that a theme? And is Star Wars even as compromised as people like Darth Vader? There's always fatherhood is celebrated,
and it always seems like it's gritty. There's something gritty about the fatherhood in a sci-fi show like that.
Okay, so Star Wars fathers good, DC fathers not so good.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our pal Max over there behind the glass. It's our Father's Day episode. It's a tradition here, and we're sticking with it.
Yep.
It's fun. It's fun to pass judgment on other fathers. So it's like.
I was about to say, I think this episode's very Schadenfreude because the majority of the people we're having fun with are the bad dads.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, we're considering fathers in the geek genre. So that could be superheroes, science fiction. I've got one from fantasy that we'll hopefully get to. But Max, you had some anime fathers to consider.
Wait. There are dads in anime?
Surprisingly, yes.
You only ever see kids in anime.
Although many of these dads have very short shelf lives, let's just say. But the first one I'd like to say, Joe, you probably are the only one that really knows this, but I was thinking in terms of a good dad, Thorfinn's father in Vinland Saga.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that one because, okay, go
Vinland
ahead.
Saga is kind of like the tamed down version of Game of Thrones for anime, and it's all about Vikings. And Thorfinn's dad, his name is Thors, and he's actually a good dad, I think, because he instilled in his son the ideology of nobody deserves to be killed and everything. No one is your enemy. Essentially, he's kind of like the Vash the Stampede, but if he was a father.
Now, Brandon, let's get your opinion, because I don't think you've watched
Vinland.
No, okay, but here's the premise is simple. It's like they show the brutal truth of what it was to live in Viking culture with slavery and slaughtering and pillaging villages, what that actually looks like. It's pretty gritty.
Yeah, I got that with Vikings.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Vikings, you definitely should.
It's really well done. I mean, it's a really good show, Vinland Saga, but Thorfinn's the kid, obviously, and then he grows up. But okay, Max, for the first best part, the main part of his life, he was out there slaughtering and pillaging and doing all that.
Yeah.
I know he changed. Now he did a full conversion, Brandon. After that, he became a farmer, and he didn't want anything to do with violence. But I guess that could make you a good father, right? I mean,
because you kind of learn from your mistakes and you try to instill that within their son, even though his son ended up making the same mistakes as he did, but also learned the way of nonviolence through violence, ironically.
Yeah. And you grow up in that culture. I don't know, man, but it's okay. So Brandon, you haven't seen it.
No.
I mean,
I still recommend
it's a redemption thing. So would you vote up or down?
All right, so
you go from mass murderer to farmer.
He was a soldier.
Okay. So here's the question. All right.
Okay.
We're just gonna say he was a footman. He fought for flag and land.
Yeah.
Was it the birth of his child that had him change and become a farmer?
Actually, yes, because although his first child, because he also Thorfinn has an older sister, and it's like as soon as he said to one of the people that as soon as I saw my daughter there and everything, I started to fear the battlefield.
There you go. That's okay, because there's a line in Batman Year One that is really excellent, and it's what's his face? Falcone is telling his son to kidnap Gordon's baby. He said, once a man becomes a father, he is never truly free. And that's actually true, man.
Okay,
that's very profound.
I'd have to say then that yes, I'm gonna give your anime Viking dad a thumbs up.
Okay.
And here's one that I think is a definite thumbs down.
Okay.
Grisha Yeager from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I'm 100%. But you got to explain, because I bet a lot of people.
Here's the thing: when it comes to Attack on Titan, there are a lot of people who were necessary but are not good.
I was trying to rack my brain if there was anybody that maintained their integrity throughout. Maybe your buddy, Captain Levi.
Erwin Smith.
Even he was a part of that assault in. But no, your buddy John. What is it?
Oh, John. Yeah,
John. But explain who he was for people that don't even know about Attack on Titan.
Grisha Yeager is the father of Eren Yeager, who's the main protagonist. And let's just say that, like I said before, he has a low shelf life because it's like he gives his son essentially the power of Titans and everything by forcing his son to eat him.
Yeah.
And not only that too, but you find out that he's part of like this mass like nationalist conspiracy and everything to promote the expansion of his kind essentially. And it's like he's always used his sons as pawns.
Yeah.
Grisha Yeager has and everything. Because Zeke, his first son, ends up being really messed up. And then his next son, Aaron, and everything gets really messed up too in the end, to the point that he nearly slaughters a good majority of humanity.
Yeah, Brandon, he tries to get, so they're living in a fascist society, right? Which, okay, they're right to fight against it.
Yeah.
But the kid is going to school, Zeke, and they're encouraging him to lie and to spy and to turn against it and to be their tool, basically.
Yeah.
So this is what, a 6-year-old kid, and the kid's being brainwashed on one side and then manipulated by his parents on the other and put in actual real physical danger. So yeah, he's a pretty bad dad in my opinion. So, all right, well, I got one. Let's shift. Okay, so in the anime world, and it's funny too because like you said, for whatever reason, there's a lot of young people in charge of things. So you don't see a lot of fathers in the. It's kind of funny. You see a 12-year-old in charge of some army or something. But okay, Brandon, this one is going to take a little thought.
Okay.
Actually, I don't want to give you that one until after the break. I'm saving one. I've got one from Lord of the Rings. But while we lead into that, what about James Potter from Harry Potter?
He sucks.
The way he treated Snape makes me don't really like him. It's like, why did Lily choose James of all people? Because it's like, that man is a jerk.
Yeah,
He had money. You think
He was
that
a
was
jock.
as simple as that? He was a jerk, but does that he did risk his life for his son? He
was his son even old enough for him to say that that's the reason he did it when he was already in the midst of...
Or is he just protecting his woman?
Yeah.
well, okay. I'm not going to go that far. I mean, I think he loved Harry.
Look.
And
He may have loved Harry, and that's fine and dandy. He was a jerk all the way around, and I have a feeling that had he been there, him and Harry would not have had a good relationship.
I think Snape is the better father to Harry.
Now that's interesting. Really?
I mean,
Okay. Let's just say this here. Okay, in the Harry Potter realm, Lucius Malfoy, Lucius Malfoy is definitely a better father to Draco than James is to. I mean, now granted, he had his own. Well, I don't know if I can say that because Lucius is a pretty rotten guy too. But he loved his son.
But he loved his son.
Okay.
I mean,
so you could be a rotten, murdering Death Eater, but as long as you love your son, you get
You're
a
a good
thumbs
dad.
up.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmsted and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And once again, we probably should have just kept the microphones going because off the air, boy, were we having hot debates about if you're just tuning in. It's our Father's Day episode, and as is tradition here on Geek Tank Radio, we take it upon ourselves to analyze fathers in the geek genres and decide whether they're good or not. And somehow Lucius Malfoy came up as a better ranking father than James Potter, but that's our
it's just how it goes sometimes.
Max, before we move away from Harry Potter, you made a pretty brilliant point off the air.
I actually think that Snape was the better father to Harry because Snape was very selfless with the manner that he protected Harry, because it's like there was times that he did noble things to protect Harry when it didn't even feel good. And I think
made him look bad too.
And it made him look bad too. He, to the point of tarnishing his own reputation and with Harry and everything, to the point where it's like a majority of the books he just viscerally hates Snape. But then you actually found out that he actually was secretly protecting him for unrequited love of his lost mother and everything. And if, in all intents and purposes, I think Snape should have ended up Lily as opposed to James.
It's interesting. I mean, Snape definitely had a sense of honor that he took to his grave. I mean, that guy, he's a great character. But anyway, all right, I'll go with you on that one. So James is at the bottom of he ranks below Lucius Malfoy and Snape.
But as bad as he is, he's still a better dad than James Kirk was.
James Kirk still is at the bottom.
He's the better James.
Okay, we got a lot to get to, Brandon, because you're going to take us out on a more positive note.
Right.
This one, though, I teased it, so we better mention it. Okay, so Elrond from Lord of the Rings, I'm sure most people have seen the Lord of the Rings, and his daughter Arwen, and who basically, here's the question. He lets his daughter marry Aragorn, who's a noble and good guy. I mean, he's a solid guy, but he's immortal and she's not. And so she's giving up her, they're not immortal, but they live a long time. Right. Well, and he gives his blessing to his daughter. I'm torn. I don't know, man. So she's basically going to have a life of maybe, another 50 or 70 years, and then she's going to die.
That reminds me of that line from Lord of the Rings again. No man should have to bury his son.
Yeah. So what do you, I mean, that one is heavy.
Well, I mean, it's, he loved his child enough that he was willing to give her up.
Give her freedom.
Yeah.
And
Elrond's a good dad.
Well, I guess that's the other question.
She can still visit him on weekends.
Yeah. Is it better to have 50 years of true love versus maybe just 5,000 years of just, existing or something?
Is it really existing, and is it really life and everything without love?
Okay. Well, so what are you voting?
It's like I'm giving Elrond a good, the good dad thing. I mean, if you're going to talk about, yes, the 50 years of true love with your dad's going to give you up so that you can have that with your your soulmate. Awesome. If you really want to get into the which you want, the 50 years of love or the 500 years of elven adventure. Look at what happened with McLeod and Heather. He stayed with her until she died of old age in the Highlander. I mean, it's just bad movie, good lesson.
Okay, and she's a great lady. She's full of she's very noble. So he raised a great daughter. So
right,
we're gonna
they're the two of them. I mean, she did steal somebody else's scene when it came to the movies because that was not her who saved them. That was somebody else. But,
well, it's okay.
Anyway,
give Liv Tyler her moment. But Brandon, there's other fathers who aren't technically fathers.
Some of the best dads in genre fiction are not the dad.
Yeah.
I mean, Uncle Ben, Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And even though they did kind of like, remove him from the latest iteration in the movies, Peter got his lessons from Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. And while Peter didn't understand the lesson then, he would learn it soon.
Yeah.
That's just one.
And they didn't have much money, and he still took in his nephew, and he could have just said, "Well, May, we can't afford this," and but
right.
So he raised his nephew, so that's cool. Yeah.
And it's like you want to hit with another one. Let's go ahead and one of the most famous father figures in genre fiction today is Din Djarin. He took in the foundling Grogu.
Yeah, I wondered if we were going to go there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
The Mandalorian.
Right, so let's talk about Pedro Pascal in general. He is the Mandalorian. He is Reed Richards, who, as much as Reed, in many cases, irritates everybody. We just saw him in Fantastic Four: First Steps actually being a pretty good dad.
Oh, and then The Last of Us.
And in The Last of Us, as Joel. And only in one of those is he a biological father.
Huh. Okay.
But Pedro Pascal is just he's kind of a unicorn. He's one of the best people in, when you hear about who he is in real life, he's probably one of the best people on the planet right now.
Well, I got a question about that because in The Mandalorian, he's a bounty hunter. He kills people. He's doing whatever. And he finds an opportunity to, in my mind, redeem himself by saving Grogu. Well, is that true father? Like, I feel like Grogu represents for him a healing type of thing, but is he doing it purely to help the kid, or I don't know? Maybe I'm overanalyzing.
Well,
but
it's definitely lone wolf and cub, and I mean, you take on the charge, you become the father. I mean, we could also go, as far as one of the best dads that's not a dad is Splinter. Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Splinter is probably one of the greatest dads in fiction. He's a rat who raised four very different and very hard to control, teenagers.
I guess the lesson is that being a father is very nuanced, and nobody. What is that? Nobody. There's no handbook for being a father, to quote Herb Sewell.
That's a very deep cut for those who know Phil Henry.
Yeah, but it's true. But I don't know, man. It's interesting because it gets you thinking about I don't know.
Yeah.
Gets you thinking deep thoughts when you're trying to consider this. But folks, don't be a bad father. Get out there and raise good children. So, but you guys, okay, it's time to go. The show's over. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Maximilian.
And I am Brandon Olmsted, imploring you, let us know who your favorite Geek Dad is.